This week I will be reviewing the Italian non-sequel to Dawn of the Dead, Zombie 2, or as it was known in the States, just plain Zombie. Overall, I didn't really enjoy this film. Unlike the Romero films that I've reviewed before, Zombie seems to have very little in the way of attention to detail when it comes to social commentary. Where everything in Night of the Living Dead, and especially Dawn of the Dead, seem to be leading towards one lesson or another, a lot of the events in Zombie just seemed a bit gimmicky. Like, we see a zombie fight a shark. Why? Because sharks and zombies are cool. We see a woman who gets her eye skewered by a zombie. Why? Because it's uncomfortable to watch and it makes you feel scared. The reason scenes like this exist in the movie are to produce superficial reactions from the audience, not to teach them something. And this movie has a lot of these empty scenes in it, and it gives it the vibe that it's just trying to capitalize on the zombie craze rather than actually trying to make a point. All of this being said, there are still some things in this film that I think could be interpreted as social commentary. I just don't think they were quite as deep as they could have been. A majority of the movie seems to focus more on shocking you, so the point that the director may or may not have been trying to make is forced to take a back seat to scenes that have less substance. That being said, the commentary that does exist in this film mostly focuses on the invasion of the zombies used to talk about immigration. There is at least 2 scenes in this movie where someone is to barricade themselves in a building of some kind and the zombies try to break in. The first happens when the doctor's wife is in their home and is attacked by a zombie. In this scene, we see her try to barricade herself in a room and to keep the zombie out. When the zombie does inevitably break the barrier, it kills her in one of the most uncomfortable scenes I have ever watched and will not watch again. The second time that the characters barricade themselves to keep the zombies out comes at the end of the film, when the group is all together in the church and they're trying to fight the large horde of zombies that's chasing them. This time the zombies don't kill all of the survivors, but their attempt to get inside the church does cause the destruction of the church and a few casualties. There's a common theme between these 2 scenarios: the zombies breaking in somewhere that they're not wanted, and the zombies causing the destruction of something or someone. This is where you can find the commentary on immigration. If we let the zombies represent the immigrants trying to come into a new country, and the survivors represent the people that are already in that country, it's easy to say that this movie is making harsh remarks against immigration, but I don't think it's supposed to be quite that literal. I think the scenes represent more of a fear of what might happen if outsiders are let into a country than it says what will happen. For example, if we let an outsider in, they might cause the destruction of things that we love and hurt people that are already here. The argument could even be made that there's a fear of other people coming into a country and taking it over, the way that the zombies eventually took over the island and the world. But all of these things are not literal. This is a story of what could happen, not what will, and is focusing much more on the fear that comes with what could happen than it is focusing on what actually will happen if we let immigrants into the country. If this story does anything, maybe it warns us about our own fears, tells us not to let them rule us, or maybe just puts them out into the world so that they can be acknowledged and talked about. But as I've already said, I don't think it does so very well. It's unclear, to me at least, what exactly it is I'm supposed to learn about the fear of immigration from this movie. Even still, these undertones exist to some degree in the film, so they can't be totally overlooked. I don't know, maybe I missed something in this movie and it's much deeper than I realized, but as of right now, with my current understanding, I would not recommend this movie if you're looking for a very deeply layered film. But if you just want to see some cool zombie violence, then you may like it more than I did. All in all, I would not watch it again, but I can totally see the appeal. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll see you next week.